Yes. Alright, here's the deal. The previous stream that we did. Now, I'm aware of the blackouts and stuff like that, and the services today and stuff, the outages. I'm aware of that. And there's always an excuse and stuff. Always. What I want you guys to notice is exactly what, well, just happened. Basically, we're going to talk a little bit about what is exactly happening here. And this is going to be just a little bit of follow-up to, you know, like what we were just talking about and stuff like that. So, first of all, I ended the previous stream with Streamlabs, which is what you see in front of you. I ended that previous stream, okay? And it did not end. I physically couldn't end it because I had already ended it, and it didn't. So, as I talk about this, I want you to notice how the bit rate gets very malicious and shifts around. I want you to see that, okay? And it wasn't. And the service isn't really shifting around either. It's sort of maintaining constant. I'm not moving it around. It really shouldn't move. Yet as I say these things, almost, you know, bam, immediately. Now, I think there's this common cause to what I think AI is the result of everything, and that it's doing everything. One can certainly rationalize that that's a possibility. I think it's more important to remember that I was attacked by people and I'm being harassed by people. I think it's important to remember that. I think it's important to remember that they linger around. I think it's important to remember that other people are being attacked and harassed for free speech issues and stuff like that. I think that's important to remember. And even regardless of free speech issues, you know, just in general, just being attacked. You know, because the behavior. So again, we're pointing out that the you know, while the service maintains constant, doesn't really seem to be any reason for that bit rate to shift around. It just does. Now, you guys remember the whole point is that I wanted to show you eventually that it literally doesn't really apparently be any reason for it to be happening. And I wanted to show you a stream previously where we talked about how it did not shift around at 2 bars 4G LTE for a good period of time, and we've seen this before. You know, obviously I've had enough experience with this to know that it shouldn't just randomly shift around. You know, unless that coverage is like really pretty much nothing, and you know, like the whole point is that's just not the case. And the whole point is that there's times where we even see them trying to make it look like it's the case, where if I can do an on-off situation, I suddenly see that the you know, service has been being messed with somehow. Conveniently, as I said, you know, oh, well, we have 5G full service, or whatever I said, and then suddenly now that's the thing that's being focused on. So then I do an on-off, and suddenly it fixes it, and it goes max 5G, all of a sudden, bam, completely maxed to 5G, just because I did an on-off, and doesn't have a single problem with it. So this is what we're talking about, where, yes, you could rationalize it's AI weaponized. The question is who's doing it and why. And so I think, you know, we've even talked about that before a little bit here and there. But the point is, as I specifically mentioned Donald Trump, this happens a lot. It gets very aggressive. People cause problems for the stream. We see the bitrate get malicious, flat out the stream might abruptly end, or something like that. Okay, so remember that previous stream that you guys saw off of Streamlabs, right here, that previous one that we did on this device off Streamlabs right here, okay? And that stream was ended with Streamlabs. Yet it proceeded to not be ended. And I'm sure a lot of you were trying to watch it, trying to figure out why the hell is this thing still alive. Okay, there was thousands of views. Remember you guys called out there was thousands of viewers, right? Remember that? Yeah, it has 200 some views, right? Right? It's got more likes than views, right? Right? Something like that. Now, they're probably going to fix that. Yeah, they're probably going to like do something now. They're going to throw some views at it, or, you know, like just like lock it at a certain number like they always do. But the point is, somebody's doing it. It's not it's not a, oh, it's a glitch in the system. No, somebody's doing all of it. Don't just fix the problem for it to happen again tomorrow. Somebody's doing it. You don't sit here and tell me we know what it is, we found the root cause. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't round up AWS and go around the area and find it. No, you did not. Somebody's doing this from within. Again, this was never a problem. Never, ever, ever. We don't just sit here and have the bit rate randomly shifting around dramatically that low when there's no reason to be. Okay? It doesn't make any sense. Look how low it is. Okay, the service is fine. There's nothing wrong with the service. Totally fine. Everything stems from YouTube, from social media, from Facebook, from YouTube, from Twitch. Everything is being manipulated from social media because all these people that are on their jobs are communicating with their loved ones. Oh, I'm at this job doing this thing, yada yada. Vehicle crash. And then they manipulate social media, trackers, cookies, devices. Everybody's texting each other, everybody's on there, everybody's connected. And all these systems start going down. I kept warning you, they're weaponizing these data brokers, these trackers, these cookies. Remember, I told you just the other day when Black Label Society's new song came out, this very real cancel culture thing happened where I was simply trying to watch the video and the entire YouTube app was forcing close the app. I couldn't watch the video. The whole app was just closing over and over and over and over for hours. I couldn't watch the new Black Label Society video. And then, after that happened, it started happening to the Gallows. One that I had watched a fucking shitload of times. I can't even count how many times I've watched that one. And then it started infecting the other ones. I said, whoa, this is a virus. This is an infection. I better stop. So I took action, and lo and behold, as soon as I started documenting, things started changing. Almost like they could figure out, monitor, and know exactly what I was fucking doing. So, the point is, non-conspiracies, things I'm seeing, witnessing, documenting, it's happening. And then I show you, and then people act like it's a fucking conspiracy. Like, why would this happen? It doesn't happen. That service is fine. We've proved that. We've gone to links, you know, like all these links I've shown you the amount of times. That this doesn't happen when we're streaming private. It doesn't happen when we're streaming. And again, we even have 2 bars for 4G LTE. That's like 3 or 4 right there. Pretty constant 3. I think it bumps up to a 4 once in a while, right? Yeah, it's pretty constant, man. It's not bad. It's really not. You're trying to claim it can't handle a 6,000 bit rate. You're trying to... That's the claim. Yeah. Okay. You don't know what you're talking about, then. It's like, again, we just keep resorting back to the thing that I keep saying. If you think that, you wouldn't know what you were talking about. That's what, like, the problem is. It's the education. That's why we keep resorting back to that. But I've exhausted myself on the politics of that situation, of education and stuff like that. I've exhausted myself on that. The point is, it's happening right now, and you need to do something. All these people are doing these jobs, and they're blindly going through the motions. We found the root cause. No, you didn't. It's going to get worse now. You're going to be like, how's this happening? It's just people attacking things. And then people go, oh, it's the hate they're posting online. No, it's just attacks because, again, the administration that would pass an infrastructure bill that would assist all of these, the federal funding, the tax dollars, the things that would normally do these things aren't happening. So this happens. People wreak havoc. They just do. Evil starts to take over. You can't do anything. So cancel culture, yeah, but evil, just in general. The whole point is, culture is so vast and so prominent in the social media and the derivative of who we are today that, yeah, you say it's like the whole point is that there's this other side that's now trying to cancel it as fast as it grows. So you got to do something about that. And then, of course, I get a fucking text message right now about breaking Dems fight to pass bill making way for illegals to become citizens. Act now. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? And right then I get that. Right then. Right then. Right then, I get a spam message about ridiculous nonsense. So I got news for you. The government's fucking shut down. The Dems ain't trying to fucking do anything because the goddamn government's shut down. What the fuck does that even mean? It's the same goddamn spam text message. The amount of fucking political spam text messages I see on here is absolutely fucking unbelievable. Call this number now to say no. It's literally a fucking scam. It literally, you literally have Republicans using your data to send fucking scam text messages to grandmas. And I sat on here trying to warn all the people that are on this platform that actually do anything. You sit here and you help all these old people, but you don't pay attention to the things that I'm saying, the fucking things that matter, because apparently, you overlook the entire YouTube channel Anonymous has. Oh, yeah, who are they? They only sit here and expose Trump for his dumb bullshittery every fucking second of every day. Again, while probably making zero money off of it, zero monetization, literally every second of every day, you can go onto their channel and watch everything they talk about too. We all remember who Anonymous are. We all remember what they did. Meanwhile, you have no idea what's going on. You just forget these things. You just blah, 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 blah. You go through the motions. You don't really know what's happening. You forget. Because he wants you to. See, that's what it should look like. It should be stable, like that. All the fucking time. It should never just shift the motherfuck around. Just like the goddamn power in your house shouldn't fucking go off and just just random bits of the day, it just goes off for 15 minutes and then comes back on. Oh, but then 8 hours later it goes off for fucking 2 hours, and the power company claims it's a vehicle accident. They block the entire road off so you can't see what it actually is, and then when you look around, you can tell it's not. You can tell it's not. You can tell, like, it's basically a lie. They fucked up. They shut your power off. They're lying about it. And so, like, the point is, Trump enables this behavior, and now nobody knows what's happening anymore. Everybody fucking lies about everything. So this happens. This stupid fucking shit. Where I come on here and I tell you the truth about shit. I call shit out and I'm like, this is how it is. And they don't want you to know how it is. So of course they start fucking doing that and shifting the bit rate around. And you know, I'm not the only one. Before me, I'm not the only one. Before me, you know, I mean, this is ridiculous. Y'all forget. Y'all had Lewis Black and you loved the shit out of him. You had George Carlin and you loved the shit out of him. It's like you blanked these people completely out of your head and you forget they exist. You know, it didn't start with me. The concept of somebody recognizing the fuck is going on and being pissed off about it and saying something. It didn't start here. This is ridiculous. That it should literally never just randomly fucking do that. Yeah, should never just randomly fucking do that. Literally never. The point is, somebody's doing something with that. There's a reason it's doing that. Somebody's using it. Somebody's doing something. There's traffic there shouldn't be. And it's fucking shit up. There was literally, like, this big fucking DDoS, like one of the biggest fucking attack bullshit fucking things that takes down Steam, it takes down a PlayStation Network. That just happened, too. Oh, yeah, and then we have all these communications go down today, too. Why the fuck is all this happening? Oh, right, that's right. Donald Trump, his administration, likes to text war plans and talk about things. So therefore, this is all happening and shit's going down because Donald Trump texts his administration's irresponsible. So they text things, the Democrats ask him about it. Oh, did you say this or do this irresponsibly? Yada. No, of course not. No, of course not. Or they just don't fucking answer the goddamn question and they try to avoid it. But meanwhile, Pete Hegseth, your douchebag in charge of the DOJ, this motherfucking genius fucking drunk motherfucker that's probably high on so much fucking ketamine, he's got no fucking clue what's going on. He does not know what the fuck is going on. He couldn't tell you his foot from his goddamn fucking nose. He's got no fucking clue what's going on. Meanwhile, he's calling all the military personnel into one fucking room all at once. All this AI mumbo-jumbo's going on. Facial rec, illegal facial rec, recognizing, you know. I walked into a goddamn store the other day, and my cell phone reception did this dumb fucking thing that this other guy told me about, where it was obvious that somebody was sitting there and using all of it. to literally just figure out where my device was. And, the point is, they're using AI to illegally track camera systems. So it's making systems go the fuck down. Because they're not doing it. They shouldn't do those things. It can't handle that. And they're just sitting here doing it. Following people around. Spying on them illegally. So meanwhile, all these other people that are anarchists and hackers and stuff like that are bad guys, that do that for bad things, they're doing it too because these idiots are leaving a trail. So the whole fucking point of me telling you these things, I got your addresses, you do a reverse phone number lookup, dirk-a-dirk-a-dirkity-dur, put two and two together to realize that you're giving the fucking data away. The moment you got your goddamn lives all over social media, the moment you have everything all under one fucking thing, the moment you sit here and you use texting and shit for war plan discussions, and you start gathering generals and all the military personnel in one fucking room for something that you could have sent a goddamn email about. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? Does it sound about right? Sounds about right to me. Sounds like a bunch of fucking assholes doing jobs they don't deserve to have. They want to get fucking filthy rich having them. And we're all getting fucked in the ass. All while these assholes sit here and take your rights away, take your freedom of speech away, and try to sit here and fucking shut up what the peaceful march is doing. That asshole is sitting here and trying to invoke the Insurrection Act while people are peacefully marching, and they have the right to do so. What a fucking piece of shit. Hell yeah, okay, yeah, a real rocket scientist to figure out what's going on. Yeah, people that are speaking out about this, their powers flickering on and off and going out and stuff, conveniently, isolated areas and shit like that, and then the power company lies about it and covers it up, and then, as soon as you make a real big complaint about it, oh man, all hell breaks loose, and suddenly it comes back on way fucking sooner than they ever promised, every single fucking time it happens. Yeah, and then finally at the end of it, now they know this, so now they sit here and they crash the fucking server, so that way it makes it really, really fucking hard to sit here and be like, oh yeah, there it is, there's a problem. And you don't fucking see what's going on. Jesus. How many times did I call this out, that I sit here and I try to tell people this was going on? For how long have I been telling people about this? For how long have I been saying this shit? And everybody's like, laughing about it, shrugging it off. Meanwhile, here it is. I'm trying to tell you, because I see it. Oh, no, Trump, he's this orange piece of fucking shit lunatic. He's totally... Yeah, yep. What a joke! Look at this. This orange piece of trash is going to take your freedom of speech away, your rights away. Slowly but surely. He's going to sit here and bring back archaic things that are completely unconstitutional because, he did that sort of thing where, the Republicans gave them all their power because they are, the majority right now. So they're just sort of letting him do whatever the fuck he wants to do. then you think that the Democrats are the bad guys. You're stupid. You're fucking dumb. There is nothing else to prove. Right here, you can see it with your own goddamn eyes. There is nothing else to prove. There's nothing left for us to say. You see it every goddamn fucking day with your own motherfucking eyes, and you're still dumb as shit. Going, oh yeah, Trump. Wrecking the country more. Good job. Fucking idiot. Stupid. Retard. You deserve it. Oh, you should be nice. No, you deserve it. Would you rather nuclear holocaust, or would you rather somebody calls you what you are until you fucking realize it, till you wise up? You know, maybe he's right. Maybe he's not sitting here fucking having an aneurysm every day, calling us retards for our own fucking, you know, just so that he can, you know, lose more viewers and shit like that. Fuck! Minute by minute, hour by hour, this shit gets worse. No infrastructure bill, nothing. This motherfucker wants to sit here and single-handedly get rich off of all of you. Tax breaks for him, not you. Causing you to pay more. Tariffs that you pay. They don't pay them, you do. Businesses do. So therefore you do. Meanwhile, you're stupid. You voted for him. Because you're too fucking racist to vote for a black woman. Oh, right, yeah, you know, and you know, you're sexist too. You did the same thing with Hillary. It was the same thing. There was no valid reason. One of the most qualified, if not the most qualified candidate in history. Literally just look at her resume compared to literally anybody else. Oh, and it is like literally quite possibly the most hated candidate too. Oh, imagine that. Imagine that. She's a woman. Oh, yeah. A Democrat. Oh, right. They're the ones that are hated. That's right. Okay. That's right. And you're too fucking stupid to see what the fuck's going on. You don't see that this is what causes war in the first place, that this is what happened in the first place. The angry, stupid, fucking racist pieces of shit were wrong, aka the Confederates, okay? The Southerners. The Northerners were right. They wanted to free the slaves, okay? They were for free thought, free speech, rights, civil rights, that sort of fucking thing. We've been through this shit before. The whole fucking point is, one side won, and they were right. And I got news for you. It was bad. That's what the enemy wants. That's what the fucking point is. We killed each other. Everybody was dead. There was basically nobody left. Yep. We didn't really win. We literally just shot each other into a fucking stalemate, and one side had a few remaining people. That's how it went! For those who didn't fucking pay attention to goddamn history class, you stupid assholes. Because I was there once too. I fell asleep in history class too. I was the stupid asshole too. Trust me, I was. I did not value that education as I should. Meanwhile, it's happening all over again. You're all too blinded. You're being manipulated by these people that are thousands and thousands of miles away. Because you put your lives on social media. You're connected to the internet. and you're too stupid to pull yourself back and to call your fucking self out when you're driving down the road and you're tailgating somebody and you're being an asshole. To slow the fuck down and admit to it. That's why. You double down, you get worse. You agree with the notion of lawlessness, of I can just drive as fast as I want just because. No, you can't. Yes, you have the freedom to do so because your punishment is, well, a fine usually, because the point is you should be free, but with respect to the law. So severe punishment for those who endanger lives. You don't get that? You don't get the point that eventually we're talking about protecting lives, having a civilized society to protect the concept of prolonging people and prolonging existence. Speed limits save lives. They prevent you from being stupid and thinking you know everything. You don't know those streets. You don't know where that fucking kid crosses the road every day for school. That sign will tell you, though. The speed limit will tell you. The little lights on the school bus with the little stop sign that comes out to stop you that'll tell you. Imagine if none of that existed and these assholes could every day do whatever the fuck they want. Slowly that shit goes away. Slowly all these regulations that protect you, that you take for granted, start going away because, you know, you just think that it's better lawlessness without government. You don't remember what the fuck government does anymore. You don't recognize what I'm trying to show you, that systemically, every little fucking thing that I own, every little thing that I show you that becomes public knowledge breaks, destroyed. You don't recognize that? And you do something? How? What the fuck? Who the fuck is running this country? Sounds like a bunch of retards. Too busy dancing to YMCA and trying to sell a fucking political bill that all it did was raise your fucking taxes and balloon the debt. Huge, beautiful pile of fucking shit. Nobody doesn't read anything. The Democrats try to warn you. They try. They read it. They do their jobs. But oh no, you think Nancy Pelosi? What do you think she does all day? Why do you think she looks old? No offense, Nancy. Love you. Why do you think she looks old? Why do you think these people look tired and old and worn out? And the Republicans usually are just... It's an image. One's working, one's not. You know, you're really fucking foolish. You really are absolutely incredibly foolish when you sit here and endlessly blame the side that is doing the job, asking the questions. The Democrats constantly on camera grilling them in these hearings, doing the job that you want them to do. That's what they're there to fucking do. And what do the Republicans do? You see it every day. They don't want to hear anything. They just sit there and try to make sure nothing happens. They want Trump to just sign executive orders. That's it. So therefore, no deciding. You don't get a fucking voice. Every day this is happening. And you don't pay attention. You don't see it. Every fucking day. So you ask why I care so much? You ask why this bothers me? Because my goddamn power goes out! Fucking Christ! I can't even fucking stream! Because these fuckheads are so justified by a platform so disgusting that it's just like Twitch! Just like Twitch! Where they have conventions that allow women to be assaulted. It's the behavior. Just as I said before, it's not everybody at these companies, it's that behavior. It's the people voting for that orange piece of shit. Duh. They are just being used. Just them. The people on the jobs that I spoke of. Their data, the trackers. The more that this motherfucker does this, to them it looks like he's helping their lives. But meanwhile, all he's doing is fucking around. And then giving one-ups to trolls. Justifying behavior that sits here and doxes somebody's fucking address for 7 months at a time on a platform. Are you fucking kidding me? What a joke. And then meanwhile this person, this piece of shit, this joke claims to be Christian, and you believe it. You actually believe that. You're so fucking... You have your head so far up your fucking ass, you actually believe that. Fucking Christ. That's all I have to say to that. Fucking Christ. He would... I'm not even gonna say what he would. Just because people are stupid. They don't even remember anymore what the purpose of those teachings were supposed to actually teach you, because nobody was taught right. It's ridiculous. I mean, Jesus Christ, you sit here and you read that Bible, and you hold on to every word, you deduce every word, you break it apart. Meanwhile, you can't figure out that it says all throughout, not to be divided. Jesus' message is to bring people together. We aren't to divide. A church is a community of people. It's not a place. Meanwhile, we have all these fucking denominations. Methodist, Catholic, Lutheran, Baptist. Give me a fucking break. What a joke. What a mockery. And then all the wars that we wage while printing money in God we trust, while saying that we do not allow governing to be impacted by religions. Right in the Constitution. Right in the fucking Constitution. And then we print on the money in God we trust, we elect people that act this way, that don't make rational decisions, that make them based on religion. And this is politics. That's the point. Religion's politics. You didn't fucking get that. You didn't understand Jesus' message. You didn't understand the whole fucking point. Is they weren't getting it. You don't organize. You don't establishment everything. You don't burn it down either. No, you show people why it is necessary not to. You show people why you don't do that. Well, why don't we have churches and big churches and stuff like that? What's wrong with that? And then stupid people, this is what dumb people do. Trust me, this is what they do. Dumb people go, oh, well, it's because of all the people. You shouldn't have that many people. And that's why I don't like the fact that the Democrats have the majority votes. Durka-durka-durka-dee-dur. And this is actually what dumb fucking people say. It's not a logic. It's completely irrational. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Stupid. Literally, you can't even rationalize that as a thought. That doesn't even make, like, it's crazy. It's like so fucking opposite. The whole point is that with politics you don't do it. With organizations you don't do it. So the more organized you get, the more church you get, the more building you get, the more give me money you get, the more you miss the fucking point. It's not about the majority. It's not about let's tally a vote and see what makes the majority happy. It's not about that. That's called togetherness. That's called coming to a common cause. That's how we do get along. It's about understanding what's wrong about any asshole that interferes with that and disrupts that and stops that from happening and says, how dare you vote? And sits here and constantly says the election's rigged while he rigs it. No. That's the point. It's not the majority that's the problem. It's the organizational means. It's the fact that when you organize, people do that. They have opinions. I think it should be this way. No. Tally the votes. That's it. The majority wins. You don't fucking sit here and let a goddamn electoral college then decide. That's the flaw. We all know it. Just like the goddamn collection plate is the flaw. Yeah, I said goddamn. You heard me. You know what's the flaw in that? See, here's the problem. People don't read their goddamn Bibles. That is not taking the Lord's name in vain. You're dumb. I have not taken his name in vain. I have said the words goddamn in the same sentence. I have not literally condemned somebody using his name. I have not done that. I have literally, like, basically, if anything, it's like asking God to condemn this fucking thing that I'm talking about. If anything, it's the other way around. And you see how your dumb little fucking mind goes, oh, bad word, immediately. Oh, it's a bad word. Why? Because you learned that in fucking Sunday school? Retard. Little fucking triggered emotional bitch is what you are. You grew up in church. Shut up and get the fuck out there and stop with your dumb little rule book already. It doesn't fit into today's world. Doesn't make sense. None of it does. That's the fucking point. You overanalyze. You sit and you pick apart these Bible verses that don't fucking mean anything. They're just things that happen. It's a story. Fucking Christ. And the whole point is that, like, even Christ himself would probably be like sort of kind of chuckling a little bit, because the message that I have is a positive one. The message that I have is to cast out the fucking bullshit. The whole point is I'm passionate about that message. So that should be fucking amusing to somebody that cares. It shouldn't be toxic. It shouldn't fucking make you hate somebody. It should make you agree. It should be like, you know what? He's fucking right. But you know, somebody sat here and fucking yelled at you too much or something like that and hurt your precious little feelings too much. And now everybody that has this tone, you can't stand. And that's really all it is. It's just a psychological fucking effect that you have a problem. Yeah. So Trump has that problem too, probably bigger than anybody. The guy who got out of all these fucking situations because, you know, he could, you know, he just always had someone to pay him out of his way, you know. But, you know, I'm sure he got fucking yelled at for it. There's no fucking question. I have no doubt in my mind that his dad was you know, very tough on him and very abusive verbally at way too young and emotional of an age. Now, there's a difference between being firm and having consequences and somebody that just has a problem and they're screaming at somebody, and now that person has two different problems. And that fucking shit's going around too. And I'm tired of that fucking shit going around. And I'm tired of everybody acting like it's any of their fucking business either. Do you hear me talking about this shit too much with Trump and discrediting him too much with this shit? No, really not, because there's too many other intelligent things that I can use. That's the point. Why did you sit here and pick apart how old Biden was when fucking Trump is barely 3 years difference? Well, because it's so fastidious, because you don't know anything. Because literally there's nothing. Because literally Biden was a successful president. He did good things. There's nothing else to use. Everything else is completely fucking made up. That's why. Oh, right. So then you'll start mentioning things about Hunter Biden. That's right. So then now it becomes about things other people did and stuff like that. You know, like, so like then you know, it's that. And even that was a stretch of the imagination. It's just ridiculous. The whole point is that Donald Trump actually does have a crime family. He's been doing this for a long time. So he therefore sits here and tries to make everybody else on the planet that is against him look exactly like what he is. That's all he does. And this is just the latest. Again, this has been escalating. This is third world country bullshit. We don't deal with this shit here. We never did. The entire time I was growing up, this was never a problem. And like I said, it doesn't even make any sense for this situation. That's why I explained those things the way that I did. It really seems like, again, somebody is intentionally taking that liberty to fuck with a certain area where they know somebody is, just because they're doing a job. Just because something's going on. Oh, this is a perfect opportunity. Let's all shut off the power to this entire fucking area. Even though we don't need to. It's got nothing to do with what's going on down there. Because again, like I said, why are you sitting here having all these problems where power goes out 15 minutes, comes back on? Then, like 8 hours, 10 hours later, it fucking goes out for fucking 2 days straight. Unless I report it right away and really follow up on this right away, then it comes back much quicker. Interesting. And so, like, I'm not saying that's bad that the crews hurry up and that people have due process to take care of things, obviously. What I'm saying, clearly, is that there's just a pattern there. And I'm not saying, you know, that's a bad thing that people, that they did a good job of getting it back on. I'm saying, what the fuck is happening? That is all of a sudden going out this frequently, this obscurely, you know, in increments like that, in weird, strange increments when it never did before. Just like all this other stuff that never happened before in weird, strange increments too. Disconnections. Disruptions. Signals. So, I already told you that this, it is very common too. Very common for me to see that happen. That little connection, that nonsense bullshit. It is very common for me to see that. We were streaming earlier, so we were sort of kind of out of battery on that device. It is very common for me to see that around the same time, conveniently, that some sort of unexplainable construction crew, unexplainable this, unexplainable that, is nearby. Where it doesn't make any sense. Where like they're just there and nobody even kind of knows why. Just like I explained to you with the crane where, like I said, there was like this robbery and apparently this crane just sort of rode up to this, I think it was an apartment or, you know, something in the middle of the city. It was obviously the city. And just rode right up to it and they robbed the place, getting in through the window through this crane that apparently masqueraded as a crew or something like that. Nobody questioned them. This is policing. This is infrastructure. This is the ability to have police wandering those streets to be able to ask those questions. Instead of having them all in D.C. to defend piece of fucking shit Donald Trump for no reason whatsoever when crime is down there and it's up in other places. Where he could actually have an infrastructure bill, but he's a fucking retard. So that's why this is all happening, and it is escalating. And it is getting worse. It's exactly what happens. I mean, what would you expect? You have to do something with your time in office. You can't just sit here and not do anything and endlessly claim that you are. That's the problem. And, you know, the things he is doing is costing a shitload of money. It's nothing. He's using the military to randomly just ransack cities for no reason whatsoever. Because people are protesting that all these things are happening. They're peacefully protesting. And that's the point. That's why they're disrupting me. Because, like, the point is, like, I think there was like this viral video, right? Everybody was showing their collaborative videos of how you know. It was sarcasm, but they were like, yeah, you know, as you can see, the destruction is really bad today here in Portland, you know. And the guy like shows the street, and people are just walking casually, minding their own business. Nothing's happening, you know. And like, you know, it cuts to the next person who's supposedly in the other city. The media is like talking. That's the point. Like, these things are happening in one spot, where these people are at the ICE facilities protesting, where they took people and put them in these camps. That's it. And they're protesting, and some people are going there and causing problems and being anarchists. But it's, for the most part, it's not happening. They're just, you know, ballooning that and covering that, and that's the media being the media. And that's what I see a lot of times, too. That's why I appreciate some of these live streams where they'll live stream what's actually happening, because you can really just see people just sort of standing around. Nothing's happening. They're just standing there. And again, that's one-off spots. It's not. They're trying to sell this to the rest of the world and stuff like that, Russia and stuff like that. That's lying to their people that it's chaos here in all our cities and stuff, because they're telling them that the U.S. started that war. You guys have to understand that, like, those other countries, they always blame the U.S. for everything they did wrong. So that's what actually happens. And then that's actually why a lot of people come here. They end up just coming here because they want to see for themselves. Because they hear the opposite, and they kind of look it up, and it's sort of kind of right. Like, they're just like, doesn't even make any sense. Like, just wrong, you know? And so they come here and they find out, yeah, it's wrong. So then Trump tries to remove those people. So, like, basically, like, I personally think he's spent lots of tax dollars finding out who those people are and trying to remove them, because he knows that those people have a positive impact on our culture and a positive impact on other people seeing our country for what it is, instead of, you know, this dictatorship for what he wants it to be. So anyway, yeah. That's why I had to get on here, and, you know, right after the thing with that, and I couldn't end the stream, you know, just one thing after another. Like, come on, man. Like, you're really gonna try to tell me that Streamlabs doesn't end the stream like it should? Like, this is the point. I knew Prism worked too. Prism, like, the Prism mobile app is actually really good. And the desktop app wasn't bad, but, like, that's my point. Like, if you notice when I, like, call it trash and stuff like that, we get, like, somebody messing with the stream. And, like, there's always, like, some sort of weird thing going on. Or if I call it good, then it gets loaded with more ads than it should have. Or there's some sort of problem with it where I would call it trash. That's what you're supposed to notice. Where, like, these things get attacked all of a sudden, so it's the complete opposite of what I would be saying. And so therefore you wouldn't hear my political message. You get what I'm saying? Like, essentially it's trying to disinformation my political message. So, this is what happens when, again, this is going on for too long. Where the Republicans that are coming into power are being just, they're probably being tricked into it or something like that. I don't know, but I would really hope that in good faith they would actually believe these people aren't there to harm us, but they are. Trust me, I've seen it. They've tried to do this. They've been trying to do this for so long. Like, we've been seeing it. And, you know, that's why I mentioned the thing with Hillary is that's what it all was with that. You know, just as we've talked about that before. You know, the only fucking reason any piece of shit hates Hillary Clinton is because they don't want a woman in charge and they don't want to own up to it. They literally just have no fucking clue. They really have no fucking clue. They talk out of their ass. And, you know, it really is kind of amusing how this guy sat here and tried to take credit for all these things Obama did and all these things the Democrats did. You know, like, we have evidence of him sitting here doing that repetitively, over and over. He's taking credit, trying to take credit for all these things that they did. He's always doing that. And yet, they're so terrible. Yet he tries to brand them as being so terrible. Well, if they're so terrible, why are you trying to take credit for the Iran nuclear deal, which was done under Obama? Which you got rid of, you said was terrible, but now you said we should have a deal. Which, again, would have prevented all this shit that's going on with Iran. It really is amazing that you guys can't see it for what it is. You'll just let yourself get used by this guy and be stupid as fuck. You think he's your guy, and you defend him to the ends of the earth so much that you do these dumb things that make everybody else hate you. Like, this is what's happening to society. It's just that. It's literally that. And then you call it woke and stuff like that. It's like, no, it's literally people just deciding you're a jackass. I'm done with you, you motherfucking piece of shit. That's it. Like, it's literally that. And it's everybody. It's so fucking many people. It's that asshole that took that +1, you know, that did that or whatever, if that's how that happened, you know? That's the point. You know, like, if that's what happened and that truly is what happened, then somebody's not speaking up and telling who that person is. Because if that person went to that convention with somebody knows who that guy came with, and somebody's not speaking up about this and saying who the fuck that guy is. So somebody else is now helping that guy cover it up. I think that's fucked up too. They should be like, well, I went there to the convention. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know the details. We're not really talking about that. We're talking about just the escalation of those types of things. The general idea of that, the concept of that, the concept that could happen, that so many people didn't act like they would have 10 years prior. I've seen public examples of everybody freaking out and literally annihilating somebody for doing that. I have seen things like that. And I didn't see that. I saw one dude do that. And then he was bound, you know, by by law, actually. So it's like, the whole point is everybody needs to be on the same page so that way, just like y'all didn't watch V for Vendetta and the ending of that movie, the whole fucking point is he did that for everybody. So therefore, everybody was there waiting for him so that he could disappear into everybody. That's the point. You're supposed to show up. You're supposed to protect people. That's what you should have done there. And that's what you do. You show up as your peaceful protest, with your cause, with your purpose. You are there. And your Democrat, your leader, your spokesperson, they're your hero, they're your beacon, they're your light. They speak for you and you tell them what you need. If consistently Republicans are doing the wrong things, spending too much money, blaming everything on Democrats, and Democrats are just sitting here asking them all these questions that they never answer, all while the Trump administration tries to take credit for things Democrats did to help you, gets rid of things that Democrats did to help you, gets rid of economic stimulus organizations that Obama had in place, completely abolishing that. Yeah, that's right. First time in office. Not even this time. First time in office. Trump signed executive orders abolishing economic stimulus organizations just because they had Obama's name attached to them. All you gotta do is look up and read the executive orders that he signs. So because nobody does that, they have no fucking clue how slimy and disgusting Trump is. That's why first day in office, that's why I give him a chance, and then first day in office, he's fucking disgusting to me, and I don't give him a chance after that. First day in office, executive order, just getting rid of something that says economic stimulus, and it has Obama's name on it. What the fuck does that tell you? Please, God, tell me that tells you something. Holy fucking shit. You wouldn't immediately be like, wow, Obama did something good? Economic stimulus, Obama? Well, let's keep that. I mean, we're not going to get rid of that. That's great. He did something good. I thought he wasn't very good. Like that's what you should say. You shouldn't be like, oh, that's fake news, or you not look it up, or just, no, you should be like, yeah, he did something good. Fuck. Wait, Trump got rid of that? Why? Oh, wait, he did this the first fucking day, just like he's doing with all these fucking executive orders since he's been in office? Abusing power the second time around? Yeah. So meanwhile, that's what's going on. Abuse of power. And then just complete lack of competence. Trump is not competent. Nobody hires us either. Pete Hegseth's a goddamn drug addict, and so is Pam Bondi, and they both lead the Department of Justice. So everybody doing something illegal right now, there you go. Like the FBI, sure, but that only goes so far. Department of Justice needs to do what they do too. So yeah, we could sit here and say them too, but it all goes hand in hand. His administration can't sit here and indict James Comey and like the guy that literally just is so FBI, more FBI than any of these fuckers are, and like he just randomly indicts him, and then meanwhile all this shit's going on with Trump. Like this is the point. Like you need to realize what he's doing. He's just remember, he randomly fired James Comey because James Comey was investigating him, so he fires him. I would have promoted him. I would have been like, good for you. I would have been like, you got some balls. Good for you. I would have promoted him. I would have surprised him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And then it would have smoothed it over. And then it would have immediately made two enemies friends. And you would have been like, I was wrong about you. But no. Donald Trump fires him because he knows he's being investigated for actually doing crimes, or committing crimes. Of course he's not going to do that. James Comey only deserves it. He's only a super decorated man. He was only super decorated, like a very high-ranking member of the government, like literally working for the FBI. Huge dedicated record. Just fires him. Indicts him conveniently now that he has all this power. And he's trying to do all these things really quickly while he has all this power he shouldn't have. And he's using the military illegally. All these breaches are happening aggressively. And you have to realize that there are a lot of people that are being attacked and sort of like followed around by January 6th rioters, like people that Trump has misused his executive power to pull these people out of jail that committed crimes. I mean, we're talking about murder here. We're talking about these guys killed cops. They were at the Capitol breaking things. You know, like we're talking about an angry mob that was convinced that the election was fraud when it wasn't. And then when he enticed them to continue to be violent, they did. And they stormed the Capitol, and they broke things, they breached the building, and they were eventually escorted out and controlled, but the whole point is they murdered some people in the process. Trump has since misused his executive power to excuse all of the crimes that they committed on that day. And so you have to realize that some of these guys are using that and overextending that and taking liberties with that. They're being too liberal about it, where they're thinking that it applies to everything, and they're going around doing all this illegal stuff. They're criminals. You know, the whole point is they were caught. They showed up there as criminals. He didn't condemn the Charlottesville thing. He very slowly gained these anarchists as followers. They showed up there to do his bidding because this is what they do. You know, the point is they like this. It's probably subconscious, but they do. They like it. They show up to do it. They are anarchists. And so the whole point is they probably even convince themselves that they're doing it for a cause, but really, again, there's nothing rational about destroying the Capitol building because you think the election is fraud. Doesn't somehow A, solve anything, and B, somehow come to a conclusion about whether it actually is or not. You just showed up as an angry mob, killed some people. That's all you did. You destroyed some stuff. Big fucking deal. Tell me, please, in an articulable sentence, how on earth you solved anything that day by doing that. Okay? You did not. There is no reasonable, articulable sentence that tells me that you did. Period. End of discussion. So, anybody after that moment in time that still supports Trump should be looked at as basically somebody that cannot and just simply is unable to deduce regular everyday problems any longer. They are not. They just cannot do it any longer. That's what I have determined, and that's what a lot of people have determined, that these are children. They are people that they think like teenagers. They are emotional, irrational, they'll speed, all kinds of stuff. You know, how many people, like why is it so I hear about this online all the time. Like, why is it so regular? I never grew up around drug addicts and stuff like that, but for me that's sort of kind of a bit foreign, but I know now it's so regular anymore. It just seems so regular that somebody I don't know, just the amount of times that I've heard about somebody that it's just regular for people to do a line in the bathroom or something like that. And they talk about it and stuff. I never grew up with that and heard that, but now, yeah, far more common. And so, Trump and all these people that want to blame the cartel and want to blame the people that sell the drugs and stuff like that and want to wage endless wars against, that. It's literally just like when the cop in Texas blames the people posting the things online and saying this terrible stuff online. Like, yeah, it's bad. The platforms should do something, and there definitely needs to be regulations and laws and stuff like that. It needs regulating, for sure. But you as a cop, again, that's not the responsible take to do that. Do you get what I'm saying? That's not the responsible take to do that. It's like the point is, like, he could say, this is not. This is absolutely an act of hate. This is absolutely, we condemn assassinations and acts of violence and hate and stuff like that. And obviously, Charlie Kirk, even if you just want to talk about the Utah thing, that was Utah, right? Even with the Charlie Kirk thing, like, the whole point is you could even say, even if that is political or something, you want to condemn political violence or whatever, fine. I'm fine with that. But don't sit here then and follow up. Don't sit here and because now you're the one pointing the finger. You're a cop and you're pointing a finger. That's going to make people angry. What you have to realize is that adds to it. You just helped it. So they liked that. That was what they wanted, actually. The fact that the cop said that. They wanted that. So you can't do that. That's why that pissed me off. Like, he did everything opposite of what he should have done. He should have condemned it as an act of, condemning violence and hate and stuff like that. But again, we're not going to sit here and point fingers at, specifics and talk about people and stuff like that. We condemn these things, and it is what it is, and it's terrible. And we're going to pray for the families and hope for them to have, speedy recovery for themselves. Please just understand that it is their business and not your business. So please be respectful if you talk about it. Just to condolences, and that's it. Don't talk any more than that. Let's not make anything of this. We'll condemn the hate. We'll condemn the violence. It is what it is. Thank you. That's all you have to say. That would help. That might do it. But you sitting here pointing the finger, I see what he's saying, but he's going about it wrong. He's doing the opposite. He's doing the thing they want. He egged it on. He fueled the fire. He threw gasoline on it. And so, yeah, you can again, like I said, you condemn the hate, you condemn the violence, but again, you don't point the finger so that it's very easy for people to sit here and find a reason to be angry. You have to understand that's what we're talking about. We're talking about psychopaths that hide in plain sight and they look for a reason to be angry. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about psychopaths that hide in plain sight and they look for a reason to be angry. And as soon as you say that, oh man, there it is. And it's a shame. But that's the point. Like obviously that's the point. So anyway, let's go back to what I was saying earlier. I have let me grab some food here. I wasn't even planning. You know, like this was just like this just happened because of everything. So just bear with me. I don't even really eat anything here. I'm sort of kind of hungry. Ra-da-ta-ta-ta-ta. I got it on my sleeve. Oh, God. Ugh. I'm such a mess. I got the stew on my sleeve. I got a little bit of the stew on my sleeve. Just a little bit of it. Just a tad. Shit. Okay. Let me get this off the sleeve here. Sorry. I'm just hungry now. So anyway. Basically, they've been interfering with my phone so much, I pretty much just I can't use it. And I suspect that if I would, it would cause more problems for the network and that they would be able to breach more easily. Because I noticed that the breaches and things in the media tend to escalate. I've noticed the more that happens. That's all. And so I've been, essentially I really do try not to, I mean, it's very obvious to me that they are using that because they know I have such an excellent connection. It really is very good. It should never do that. That's why. Like they're taking advantage of that. It should virtually never do it. Sec here. So just heating up my beef stew here. Wipe down the table really quick. I'm gonna eat some beef stew and keep talking. Oh, also, I was using Streamlabs, as you can see, and so since I'm still kind of not really I wasn't sure how to use it 100%, to be honest with you. The chat I didn't see, so I didn't see everybody's chat until later when I ended the stream. I had to end the stream later. I didn't actually see it. So I didn't have it. It looked like it just looked here. There was no chat on the screen. I didn't know how to bring it up. So the whole time I was live, I'm sure you guys were all in there chatting and stuff. I did see there was a chat when I went to end the stream later, when I noticed it had not ended. And so the whole point was I read some of those messages, but I couldn't say anything because the stream I actually lost because they disrupted it so much. I couldn't bring it back on the Streamlabs here. It just wouldn't work. So it was offline even though it wasn't. And that's the very thing that you're supposed to get when you get one of those stream softwares. That's kind of the point of it. It's a service for that. So anyway, the point is I couldn't get it back and I did see the messages, so I wanted to say, I saw Troll Slayer was in there. I appreciate you. You were saying something about how it's almost as if they're keeping the stream live using AI or something like that. Yeah, I've definitely noticed, like, there's definitely a distinctive weird AI feel to what's happening. But I feel like, I don't know, I almost feel like it's supposed to feel that way. Almost to throw you off. I don't know. But yeah, at least wanted to say that I did see that. Appreciate it. So I just wanted to comment on that because I saw that message. Oh, and also, I'm noticing that so first of all, the Streamlabs desktop app is very much like OBS, and I think I like it, but I'm not sure. There's some things I don't like. Now, the Streamlabs mobile app, I really don't like it at all. Immediately. I just really don't like it. Just immediately. I mean, that's a shame, too, because if Prism, like the free Prism app that I've been using, if that's better than Streamlabs, which I think it is, the mobile app is, that's bad. And the desktop app actually was too. So before all this hacking and nonsense happened, I discovered that the stream, the Prism Live Studio app for the PC is actually incredible and works really well. It actually just uses OBS's thing, and it is really good. Except the problem is, because they have ads and stuff integrated with it, now they sit here and they breach it. So it's basically become a spyware tool. Is what it's become. So my virus software won't even let me launch it on PC anymore. Physically doesn't let it happen. Physically doesn't let it happen. It literally will. It will literally just be like, this is malicious software. You're gonna get hacked. You can't use this. Because it recognized that was the breach from before, so it's like you can't. That's why. It's like you can't do this. You're not allowed. So, yeah. That's the whole point, is that they're clearly just screwing with these things. Trying to affect everybody's actual opinions on stuff. And the point is that culture is a victory, that's why. I mean, use the most obvious example of when we build, computers themselves. Think about it like this. A computer, your PC is a calculator, right? When you calculate things, it's math. It's very affirmative. It's very logical. So your computer is designed to be able to do all these calculations instantaneously, just like super, super fast, right? And now not only that, but not only can it do any complex scientific calculation, well beyond what you can do, as far as how quick it can do it, but like the point is, if you design a simulation software that like builds a city, or something like that, the whole point is that out of that simulation software, it is using its calculator, its most sophisticated, state of the art, that PC, whatever that specs of that PC is, those specs. Those state-of-the-art specs to figure all that out, and all that hardware to just do that one thing and calculate all these different people in this game that are populating the city, and yada 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 yada. You get the picture. So the point is, I do these things. I play these games. People like me play these games. The military has these things. They're very similar to games like what we play, where it's very much like that, where it's a war game, it's to teach you tactics and stuff. That's real. I mean, the whole point is, if you can see it and learn it, why not, The whole point is that even in these games where it's designed, this big calculator, the state-of-the-art calculator, your computer, figuring all this out, and you have it as basic as one of the victories in this game is a culture victory. You can win with military, you can dominate military dominance, I suppose. You could force that, and stuff, just take over the map, the thing that doesn't really win in the real world. That's one of them. But obviously that's the hardest one to achieve. Nobody ever really gets that to happen. It's like really stupidly hard. You gotta like really do dumb things to make it happen. But then there's all these other ones. You can have a religion victory, you can have a culture victory, the whole point, a science victory. The whole point is that you win by obtaining that. Like, it's such a boom to your society. You've achieved what's known as succeeding as a civilization, as a society. You've obtained it. So this can be done through culture, it can be done through science, it can be done through force. You don't force things. So that's the whole point, is when you force things, it really doesn't work that way in the real world. So that's why you don't force it. But yeah, the whole point is that these other methods of doing things, of having a victory, like let's say you have a military victory, but now it's a defensive stance where you just have a big enough military, like the US did it for long enough time, where you just defend yourself and very, very slowly make friends with the rest of the planet. So that way you have a military victory that is far beyond the reach of even your own scope. That is incomprehensibly powerful. And that's what the US did before Trump. That's what he doesn't want you to know. So, like, backing out NATO and all that, pissing those people off and stuff, that's not good. And the whole point is that, yeah, even in these simulations, they would determine, at a certain point, you're just going to have that victory. You're going to win off of your culture. You do enough. And that's the point. It does. It does do that. You've achieved victory for, you have that golden age that he talks about that he can't do, essentially, is that's the point. Where, the Clintons did this and gave this to Bush, who just gave us another deficit. He had a surplus and he gave us a deficit. So the Clintons did this, but then Bush just came in and gave us a deficit, didn't really help much. And Obama really sprang things back again. And so it just, the fact that we had the Clintons and Obama, you just have no comprehension for what that did for our country, and then just Trump just coming in and fucking it all up. You really have no comprehension. So, yes, what's going on? And, we had that military victory, but we had the culture victory too. We had a science victory. We were on the moon first. That's the whole point. We had those victories. That game uses those examples. That's what the U.S. had. The U.S. had global dominance because the whole point is we actually have trade. We had the ability, past tense before Trump, the ability to have impact on trade because we have so much culture with what we make. So many people here. We got wine vineyards. We got all this different. Think about all the brands, all the alcohol brands, the famous car brands, all these different things that we sell, that we export. And now it has a tariff. Now Trump has caused a trade war and pissed off all of our, exporters. So that's what's happening. He's just terrible. And so, the whole point is, just force a tariff, and just force it. These things you would come to trade deals like we did with the country, so that way everybody's happy. You make one with them. Like, the whole point is that even Trump's book, like the whole Art of the Deal thing, the one that he didn't really write, basically it's plagiarized. If you just take everything he did, the concepts of what he was trying to say there, it's actually just The Art of War. The book, The Art of War. Yeah, it's literally just that. Except he's trying to say it's the art of the deal. It's not. That's how you go to war with somebody. It's not a deal. So basically, Trump knows how to go to war with people and piss them off. And he thinks this is how you deal with people. That's how broken he is. That's what you have to realize. That's what a lot of us have realized. His book is literally that. It's literally that. That's literally what it is. It is not the art of the deal. It's the art of war. And he splits people up, divides this whole country. That's what he does. Thinks that the art of a deal is forcing people to see it your way, to eventually cave to your demands. No, that's a hostage situation. That's a terrorist. That's force. That's a criminal. He doesn't understand this. That's war. That's the whole point. That's the art of war. That's the whole fucking point. And he knows this, yet he uses it as deals to... So, the point is, that's where I often wonder, if he does know this stuff. And he is doing all of it to help Putin. Really it actually is for a political gain and to scratch his back or something. Wouldn't that be crazy? I mean, that's what it was for Putin. For Putin, it was going to be a whole... the whole thing was supposed to... he thought it was going to be over real quick, and... So yeah, there was like, I was looking at it sort of briefly. I gotta go check it out. I gotta go check out a little bit more of it. But there was this report that I was seeing, conveniently coming out right around the time where this whole outage and stuff happened. That apparently all these systems were going down. AT&T being one of them, and it just doesn't make any sense that you get what I'm saying, like power too, you know, like just conveniently right at that time. It's just the thing from last night, like that's just, I'm calling bullshit, man. I'm calling fucking bullshit. You have to realize last night it was pretty calm. Yeah, it was pretty calm last night. It's not like, yeah, man. And given my situation, like I said before, with them being underground, yeah, the whole point is, that's that's the point. So when I drive a mile away, and you're doing something a mile away, and you're shutting off the power to everybody's place where their lines are underground, and you're doing something down there a mile away, the fuck does that have to do with me? And then you keep changing the reason, you keep doing weird things. The reason doesn't add up. That has happened. I've seen that. I'll just change there. So somebody's doing that. You know what I mean? Remember that I told you guys a while back that that one monitor I had like went out because of a power outage, like a sudden power outage. Like after that it just, so because I announced that on the stream, and I remember a huge influx of traffic when I announced that too, you know, sort of like we have been seeing. And so the point is, they've been trying to control that so that you don't see that. You don't see the evidence of it being affected by that. But yeah, they got AI on that, and they are paying attention to what you say. And yeah, I do think that it's to break things and to, you know, cause people hardships and money and stuff like that. Yeah, I do think that. I think they're just taking things down, hoping things break, you know, explosions are happening. Yeah, I really think that's all it is. Just the modern means of terrorism, where it's just anarchists doing what they do, but now they're being manipulated, you know, to do the bidding of, you know, like that these guys couldn't do, essentially. These guys that failed to do what they were apparently trying to do on September 11th. And now have been slowly working to try to do this. And it's like super obvious. And you know, you have a president right now that's accepting a plane from Qatar as well. You know, he accepted a plane from Qatar because he's a fucking orange moron. Who can be bribed with a fucking plane from Qatar. Yeah, I mean, like, that's a crime, by the way. If a senator or somebody accepted a gift from a foreign adversary, you know, Qatar, like, that's Al Qaeda, man. That's if you accept a plane from a foreign adversary, from a known terrorist organization, as a senator, that's the end. That's it. You know, like that is a huge crime because it's looked at as bribery, like you're scratching each other's backs, like you're selling secrets to the enemy, and that's what Trump's doing. He's selling us out. He is committing treason, probably daily. So that's why this is happening. And the Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, and piece of trash Hegseth are on drugs and looking the other way. And intentionally not answering questions, laughing at questions. Again, exposing military personnel, officers of the top level to media to they're just being in one place at one time just for him to sit here and say stuff that he can send in an email. To call him fat and tell him to shave, basically. I think that was the meeting. That's, this is the disgusting behavior that Trump's administration exhibits. This is what these people do. They're not doing their jobs. They're not doing them. They're not answering questions. And the question is why? Who are they helping that is giving Trump a ton of money? Like they're giving him planes, they're giving him this and that, probably. Who is he doing this with? And even as early as yesterday, I think I heard something about Hegseth doing something irresponsible with peace negotiations or something having to do with the thing with Gaza, where like just all that shit with Gaza, where nobody knows what's happening, and these assholes are just texting it all. They're so dumb, they don't know. No, they do. They do. There's no way they don't. They know. So, can't say I didn't warn you. I've been warning you for a while. I've been trying to tell you this for a while. I pointed out the fact that first time around in office, Trump hired nothing but criminals that eventually just got arrested and branded for the stuff that he did. And the same thing's going to happen. He's just going to sit here and pretend like it's not going to. So basically, the point is, all these people are just doing illegal shit, hiding everything that family does that's illegal, and they're just using these people to do that illegal task or whatever. And like I said, think about how many times somebody wouldn't do something illegal for Trump, and then he just fired them because they wouldn't do something illegal. So the point is, if they don't do something illegal, they're going to get fired. But if they do something illegal, they won't get fired now, but possibly later. So you understand the pressure. Like, the whole point is that these Republicans are being threatened. Like it's very obvious that they're concerned about their well-being, probably, that they're being threatened by the entire Trump family. And there's all this violence going on with people going after Democrats and stuff like that too. So you have to rationalize they're probably being threatened. Because it's the only reason they would do that. That's the only... There's no way. Why? They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't just give their power away. The Republicans don't... The Republicans won all of the power. They would never... It just doesn't make any sense. So, again... I really think that's the perfect example of that family, that crime family. Because that's what they are. They like I said, even just one example was when they had an art exhibit that was supposed to go to charity, and the entire proceeds just went to a bank account in Donald Trump Jr.'s name. That's it. Nobody donated it. It just went to him. All these artists paint these things that was, again, people would bid on them, and very high amounts and stuff like that. It was supposed to be for charity. And it just went into an account in Donald Trump Jr.'s name. Now, this is the first time he was president. This is a while back. We're not even talking about something recent. You really, really, really are so fucking stupid to actually think that he shouldn't have been impeached. That, I remember Mitch McConnell was the one standing there also committing treason, basically. Standing there saying, lying under oath, saying, that he's going to be impartial. That he's going to, swear under oath that he's going to remove his own personal bias. He's going to be a proper, impartial juror. But no, then he literally lies right after that and says, I will not be an impartial juror. I promise you that. He says it literally right after swearing that he wouldn't do that. So, literally that entire hearing where they sat there and decided whether they should remove him from office or not is completely invalid. He should have been removed from office based on that, based on him publicly saying that, admitting that, because it's all fraud, it's all invalid. That's the point. If you had a juror do that, a small-time juror, suddenly not somebody in the government, yeah, that's what would happen. There'd be a mistrial. They would, it's literally the point. You can't have any type of bias or anything like that, or anything to do with it. And then he literally admits that he's going to, I will not be an impartial juror, I can promise you that. Literally says it. Well, literally just invalid then. The entire thing should have been ruled the other way based on that. And of course he ruled to not remove him. Of course he did. Of course he voted that way. They didn't even want to hear. So there was these guys that were going to testify that apparently Trump hired to do these jobs that were illegal, and they were cops, right? And after doing the job, I think they found out just like how corrupt he was. I think like essentially they sort of kind of got halfway through. The gist of it was that they got like halfway through and sort of figured out that it wasn't legal and that he was lying. And Trump was lying to him and stuff. And these were guys that were devout. Like the whole point was that they were MAGA, devout. This is the first time he's in office. This is what all this was about. There's all these investigations, the FBI investigate, and this is the point. They know all this. And so the whole point is these guys were going to testify, and then Republicans that were sitting there literally just said, no, we're not going to let those people. They literally would not let witnesses testify in a hearing, presenting evidence whether or not you should remove Trump from office. He's been impeached. There's enough evidence to impeach him. He was impeached. That happened. They voted to not remove him from office, all while then not voting to... they didn't even vote. That's right. They just said, no, we don't want to hear from the witnesses that can testify to the things that he asked them to illegally do. And these are cops. What the fuck? Yeah. So this is the point. Nobody fucking pays attention to that. I actually watched that. And like nobody watches these things. They don't fucking care. They don't pay attention. They don't know. Well, I watched it happen. I've watched the whole thing. I watched McConnell. That's how I know it happened. I watched him. I followed it. I simply was watching the news. I was following it as it happened. I was like, I want to know what's going to happen. So I just was following it around. I literally watched that time where fucking McConnell was like, durka, I'm going to be a fucking asshole and stand here and I'm going to fucking use the media to be like, let me swear that I'll be a good juror and I'll weigh in favor of ethics and good judgment, durkity, and then literally just walks off the floor to do the media bullshit and says opposite. And nobody sees this problem. And then again, he is impeached. You see the Democrats do the job, do the work, present the evidence, and they don't want to see it. Just like what's happening now, where they have evidence they're asking about, and they don't have any answers. They won't answer. They just literally won't answer. Won't answer it. Won't answer for the things they're doing, the crimes. That's the point. Just like before. Only now it's worse. So that's the fucking point. And it's just gonna get worse. It's only gotten worse since then. But that's literally what fucking happened. Goddamn asshole was fucking impeached. Obstructed justice 10 times to Tuesday. More than that. Fucking double that. More than double that. And all these accounts of fraud, just like literally all these things that he's done, all these lawsuits he has against him, is actually impeached. But then, of course, since Republicans controlled Senate when it moves there, oh well, we won't vote to remove him, so. And they actually, remember the justification was, well, you didn't remove Clinton. Just comparing the Monica Lewinsky scandal to obstructions of justice, fraud, and like literally like using people, taking advantage, like making money off of people. What, like these Republicans are disgusting. That's what they were doing. They were misconstruing politics. That's the point. And that's where you know. All you got to do is go back into history. They didn't remove him from office because that's all he did. It was a fucking scandal that had to do with sleeping with somebody else. It had nothing to do with his ability to fill the position in office. So they didn't fucking remove him because there was no gross misconduct. Period. End of discussion. Okay? And then they don't look at the charges, they don't look at the evidence, they just go, oh, well, you didn't remove your guy. So, you know. That's literally what they did. And we're talking about a huge, disgusting amount. So basically the point is, the biggest criminal on the planet used what he knew about the Democrats to hide behind the Republicans. That's it. That's all he did. He found a way to buy his way into the presidency so he could hide behind Republicans. And then just pressure them. Just like he does to all these voters that and cops and stuff that sit here and endlessly defend him and shit like that. It's the same shit. He's literally just using the art of the deal. Well, remember, that's just the art of war. He's manipulating people. So you can see it, or you know, eventually it can become way fucking worse. Either way, you're gonna need to make a choice, and you should probably just make the choice that says that the rich fucking guy that's always been rich and taking advantage of people shouldn't continue to do that, and shouldn't continue to make the country very obviously worse, very obviously going the wrong direction, very obviously dividing people, not bringing them together. His own words, by the way. Donald Trump's own words. That's a quote. You know, a government shutdown makes the president look weak because he should be bringing people together. That's his job. That's a quote from Donald Trump. Literally a quote from Donald Trump. And we're in a government shutdown. How many times have we been in a government shutdown under Donald Trump? We literally went into his... because of his absurd ridiculousness, the first time in office, we started with a government shutdown with him, too. And now here we are. Again. Because he doesn't know how to spend money. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He does not know what the fuck he's doing. Money runs out, what the fuck do you expect to do? Government shuts down. Wait, would you just expect it to continue operating? Donald Trump's bankrupting us. And, you know, the whole point is that you should be spending those tax dollars that we all pay very unfairly, by the way, because, again, the whole point is the rich man should pay as much as you, and he's cutting them. That's why this is happening. And just as I told you before, there's very articulated simulations where I have a city, and that really complex calculator calculates all that. I promise you, when I raise taxes for the very few rich people in that city, and then just sort of kind of keep the other ones kind of like at a baseline, not too high, but a nice baseline. If I very, very slightly increase the rich people, the higher end, I get so fucking much money, it's not even fucking funny. It is not even funny how much fun. Oh my fucking God, it's so fucking much money. Because the percentage of how much those rich people make versus, like again, you have no concept for the fact that Elon Musk alone has more money than all of the middle class put together. You really just have no concept that that's how much money these guys fucking have. Okay, so the point is, why the fuck wouldn't you tax that guy the same amount, at least? They're not even taxed the same amount as us. They have tax breaks because of Trump. We're still paying 8, 9, fucking 10%. They're down to like 6, 5, and 6%. That's what they pay. And we're like double that. So again, when I run these simulations and I play those games, and I've seen that countless times, there's nothing. You don't take that away. There's no replacement for seeing history tell it to me, and then seeing the brilliant calculator that is the modern day computer, and a proper simulation put together. The fact that it's just math. It's just fucking math, man. We've conquered math. We long since conquered math. We know it inside and out. And I promise you, that's all that is. Okay? So I've already explained it too. You know, it would be literally like if you went to your grocery store and there's a separate line where if the rich people get in that separate line, everybody knows who they are, and even if they got the same stuff that you did, every fucking item on that receipt is the same. Everything in that card is the same, but they paid less. Their total amount was less when they left the grocery store. You know, they got the same shit you did, but for some reason their total is less. Well, then you look at the tax. And it's literally just, instead of charging them the higher percentage that you paid in your line, because you're a middle class person, you pay more taxes. That rich person that makes more money than you, that can afford it, now pays less and walks away very happy and continues capitalizing on you. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what he's trying to teach you. He's trying to teach you that that's what fair is. That it's fair to step on people. To be more wealthy and rich, but then also you shouldn't have to pay your way as everybody else does. Well, no, really, he cheated on his taxes since forever, so that's really why he thinks that. That's why he thinks that. And it's just not the case. And that's the point. So, the point is you suddenly tax that billionaire that makes billions, and the entire middle class doesn't even equal his billions. You have your answer as to why a higher percentage for somebody that makes more money is why the government doesn't have any money. They literally won't do it. They won't tax the rich what they are supposed to be taxed. Even again, an equal fair amount would still be huge. It would make a huge difference right now. But no, they're not doing it. They paid less under that stupid fucking bill. That tax plan, that Trump fucking tax plan. It's ridiculous. Absolutely absurd to pretend like none of this is... It's all his fault. It's all him. It's literally just him. Everything. Everything is him. He's right about everything? No, he's wrong about everything. That's why he has to embroider a hat and wear it that says he's right about everything. He's wrong about everything. So that's why he needs to do that. It's a justification. I really, don't know how much more obvious it can get than this. This is about as obvious as it gets, guys. I mean, it's really not going to get any more obvious than this. If you're looking for a more spelled out message, I don't know that you're really going to get one until democracy or the country is gone. And then by then it's too late. You know, you can't wait for a definitive. You can't do that. You have to trust the facts and trust the information that you're presented with. Because that's what it is. It's information. And information's free. You can find it. And if Trump has his way, it won't be. Really is no explanation. You know, other than somebody screwing around with it for every single streaming app that I have to have all these problems. There's no excuse. You know, like you, and, you know, you'll start using it, and it's fine. You know what I mean? And other people use it. You know, like when other people use the app, and it's totally fine. Like, that's the point. Like, you really expect me to believe? You know what I mean? So, the whole point is that these down services, these things that they're doing that to kind of cover up what they're doing here, to make people not understand, because people don't understand. They're not related. They are, but they're not. They're doing it to confuse you. Like, again, it's the trackers, it's the cookies, it's to get you in this area. So, like, what, there was a vehicle accident or something? Like, do you know anything about the guy that had the accident? Is he conveniently a cop that was super triggered, or some MAGA voter or something like that's a drunk or super easy to make emotional and stuff like that? Okay. Whatever. So whatever, they trigger this person, they know they're in the area, they're using the trackers, cookies, whatever. This gets somebody to to do something or crash or whatever. You know, they know this person has a history of crashing or a history of doing this, whatever. This stuff's this deep. So they do this, they get this to happen, yada, yada, yada. It causes that initial thing the night before, like I said, where it goes out a little bit, but then comes back on. So it didn't actually go out, you know? But then they clean up, and then the crew that comes that they want to come, that they want to do what they're doing, to mess with things, shows up. Blocks the whole area off. Way after the fact. And now they're there, and they're doing their thing, and yada, yada, yada. And so now they take the power out. And then that's the response where you see this report where, oh, all these services, yada, 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 go down, yada, yada, yada. And then meanwhile that happens. So, I mean, yes, but no. You know what I mean? They're making it seem coincidental, I suppose, but you should put the dots together. You should recognize that, holy shit, there's this huge pattern to all of this. Like, nobody's doing that. That's the problem. Somebody at the FBI would have by now. This is my point. My point is that the FBI isn't doing anything. They go to work every day just to listen to whatever 8,000 fucking emails Donald Trump's team has to come to be, because they're the actual fucking Karens. You know what I mean? Like, the whole point is, like, the Karens in the negative connotation, the toxic meaning behind that is those people, the rich, nasty, snobby people that go to work, don't do their jobs, bitch about everything. You can't even get good food at McDonald's anymore because, because the employees make jack shit. They don't want to be there, and the rich people in charge don't fucking care. So that's the point. They're just like that. That's the other side of the Karen. You know, there's a toxic Karen and there's a heroic one. The one that's heroic, the good one, is the one that's calling some bullshit out because enough's enough. And it does not look like a lady at GameStop who's raging out. I didn't think he's a lady, he's a guy, right? Posing as a lady. Raging out, saying it's ma'am, throwing shit around. It does not look like that. That is not, no. That's toxic. You know, that's what you don't do. You know, like, and then we have valid people validly complaining and they're not being heard. We're being suppressed. Censorship. That's the issue. So there's this manipulation of the woke agenda where they want you to think everything that's woke is something you should cancel. It's just not the case. Like, I don't like that term either. So let's cancel the term, but keep the message. You know, we should change with the times. You know, I can understand that. Like, these things matter. Like, you gotta have a civilized way of doing things, but you can't be too extra about it. Like, that, there just has to be a reasonable medium for everybody. And that's the rational, reasonable take that nobody wants you to hear, that I've been saying since fucking forever, that they've been trying to censor and shut up. The only time the stream works is when I'm raging about something, and then suddenly all this traffic in here, yada, yada, yada. And so that's the point, is for a while that's what it was, where somebody was showing in broad daylight that they were following me around and could cause this bitrate shift intermittently when they were in the stream and would interact with me and stuff like that and would take credit for it and was literally sitting there and doing those things and taking credit for it and doing that, showing me that they could do it. So the point is, like
These people aren't people. They're assholes. They're anarchists. They're pieces of shit. You need to take a firm hand with that. You condemn that. You don't allow somebody to just do that stupid fucking shit. So, the whole point is that's the point. I keep saying that. That's like that's a catchphrase for sure. There are a lot of points. There really are, but there's always a main point, and that is that the orange douchebag has got to go. The orange douchebag has got to go. That is always the point. He should have never been in there this time. Never. Shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened the first time, but it was valid the first time. It wasn't valid this time. It wasn't. We all know that. So, there is treachery afoot, there is treason afoot, there is crime afoot. And unfortunately, in a world with, in a world absent Sherlock Holmes, in a world absent of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, so, when people are just getting dumber and information gets faster, people's attention spans can't accept things that aren't visual. They don't want to read. They can't be bothered to figure something out for themselves. That's part of the systemic problem. It's part of it. And I'm somebody that I'm not afraid. I go out in public and I'm there and I'm there to help. And I'm just, that's me. And so that's the whole point. They want to make it seem the opposite, obviously. Because that's what we were doing. We were being more public about stuff, and so they started using this whole nonsense with the cell towers and stuff to disrupt the streams and devices and whatnot. I guess that device that you guys were looking at, that's the device with no matter whether I turn it off or not, whether I turn off the mobile connection or not, is permanently connected to AT&T's network. Just says AT&T in the top left corner of the phone, regardless of whether I turn it completely off or not. Doesn't say emergency calls only, doesn't say no service, it just says AT&T, and I can get text messages and all kinds of stuff, even though my mobile data is turned completely the fuck off. And again, this never happened initially when I got the phone. The whole point is that it wasn't doing that until I started proving with screenshots and stuff like that I wasn't having disruptions, that it wasn't my service. So they started causing problems for the service, proving that they could. So the point is, they're actually disrupting that company and screwing with that company. All for the intent to continue doing what they're doing here. That they're going to actually screw And the whole point is it's happening, like I said, to even my mom's phone on the same plan. But there was another device on that same plan that it literally would never happen on. Never even once. And so that's the whole point is like, when with this device I can prove at one point that it used to say that, you know, all the screenshots I showed you guys where it says emergency calls only, where they were disrupting and just disconnecting my service and stuff. That's the whole point. They, you know, AT&T was picking up that they were doing it. They probably couldn't do anything about it, so they just kept disconnecting me, is what they were doing. That was their answer. That's their answer. So they know this is happening, but they're too stupid to do anything about it. Or care. Or they're doing it. For some strange reason. So, the point is, they're just endlessly disconnecting you. And doing that. And so the point is, since I started talking about that, they knew they couldn't do that anymore. So, you know, they started covering that up as soon as I started proving it, where, again, it's just a constant connection. Because it's the only way they're going to be able to do that. Otherwise, it's just going to say... That's why it said emergency calls only, because it should say no service. So it started saying that, emergency calls only, and then they're like, oh, geez, well, now we know. Now, if it says that, that's the indicator, too. So they just made it constant connection, so it looks like the service is there, but just bad. And no, like that's their point. They're just turning it off. It's an on-off thing. Just like with the stream, like it's not actually moving around. They're just disconnecting. They're literally disconnecting the stream. Like it's just, it literally, like that's why sometimes it just fucking completely abruptly ends, because that's what they're doing. It's just too much. So yeah, anyway, as you could see, the whole point was that's not supposed to happen. You know, we already know that, you know, it really doesn't have any problems maintaining a bit rate of 6,000 on 4G, LTE, 2 bars. That's just generally not a problem. And, you know, that shit was moving around all over the place. Now the funny thing is, it definitely acts like AI, you know, but like I said, I do think this is weaponized to make you think that. It's interesting. I don't. Maybe I'll keep that to myself for now, but it is definitely obvious that, you know, there are times where it looks really like AI is doing it. There is definitely times where I can say I agree with you on that, where it, you know, where I'm, again, that was actually that stream, that one I just showed you, that last one where you guys were just looking at the phone on the Streamlabs. Yeah, that looked like AI to me, because before I started this stream on here with you guys, it wasn't moving around at all. Not even a little bit. Not even the slightest. And so, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and as soon as I start the stream, it's fine, but then I start talking, and then like when I'm talking and stuff like that, specifically more about Trump and, you know, stuff having to do with that, it gets pretty malicious. And as you guys know, we've discussed this before, where there's been, basically, it seems more like they're trying to remove in giant chunks of the stream, huge sections of the stream, more than degrading the quality of the stream. Because again, that's what we see. We see like the stream abruptly end or go offline, or, you know, after the fact. Again, the whole point is after the fact, just gigantic chunks of the stream conveniently missing, right as I'm mentioning this huge point about Donald Trump. You know, like this real important point. And it's you know, like I'm about to come to this conclusion about this point. That's a really valid point. That's conveniently about Donald Trump. And that one line of dialogue would be the most important point of that whole thing I've been talking about, and it's missing. And it's just completely cut out of the stream. That's when I notice it. Those patterns are overwhelming. That is overwhelming, that pattern. There is undeniably a pattern with that. So yes, that's the AI. The question is what's happening after that. So yeah, yes, AI, but you don't stop there. Don't assume it stops there. You have to be smarter than that. Question is why? What's that for? It's not just AI. AI is... It is what it is. Question is who? Who, why, when, and what will happen too. So yeah, there's a lot there, but those are the questions, not, you know, like obviously probably AI, obviously, you know, like that's what a lot of this stuff is these days. But who, why, and that sort of thing. And, you know, a lot of this is around Donald Trump. I say Donald Trump, anything bad, anything toxic, that's true, but toxic, because that's what he is, toxic, that's censored. So, basically, what it's going to come down to is somebody's going to have to answer for the fact that I wasted, like basically, like, all I end up doing is proving that somebody is sitting here harassing streamers and manipulating the platform for financial personal gain. Like, there's no question. So at the end of the day, basically what ends up happening is I'm in a situation where now I have to waste my time and my effort and stuff like that, and somebody's going to have to answer for that. And the whole point is, you know, I just want to get on here and I just want to stream. You know, like I just want to sit here and talk about a video game or something like that. But because I'm harassed and attacked and stuff like that, I am forced to talk about the fact that, you know, these technical things shouldn't be happening. And they are anyway. And so the point is that at the exhausted efforts of the, you know, the people that think that I don't report, and that, you know, like the whole point of reporting to AT&T and going through AT&T and doing that on stream with you guys was to show you that I do. Because I can't show you emails. I can't show you personal information. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? The whole point of that was to show you right front and center that I'm not sitting here just not reporting stuff to companies, not telling people about it. That was to show you in good faith, no, right flat out, this is exactly, and to show it to you right front and center. I'm going to the store, and this is exactly what's happening, this is exactly what's happening, this is exactly what's happening, this is exactly what's happening. So that you know. Because the whole point is, it doesn't matter. I submit reports, I endlessly fucking tell people about these things, nothing happens. If anything, it gets worse. Shit breaks more. So, the whole point is, the more you report something, the worse it gets. Well, then, if anything, awareness is the problem. People need to be aware of what's happening, and they need to document it, and we need to all get on the same page. So that's the pattern I'm seeing, and that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to show you what I'm seeing. That is very real, and it's very much happening. And the whole point is the outages and all this other stuff too. It's only escalating. It's only also evolving and escalating around, this thing with Trump, this disruption that I'm having with what I'm trying to simply do with my life. That's all. Oh, hey 365. You are in the stream right as we're about out of time, buddy. Hey man. I was just about to tell everybody we're about out of time. I'm sorry, man. It's good to see you. You're here. I am sort of out of time though. It just sort of kind of warned me. You were just stopping it anyway. That's okay. You got a client. Cool. Well, I'm glad you got a client. That's good. Well, good luck with your client, man. Hope the rest of your day goes well. Stay safe. That crazy world out there. So guys, yeah, we're this is pretty much it. We're out of time here. I better get going. Thanks for hearing me out. Appreciate you. But it's a very real thing, unfortunately, that's happening. And I guess that's it. Because if I don't go, it's we're gonna have problems. All right, guys, take care. I gotta go. Appreciate you.